We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 242. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is the current reigning, defending Scholars of Wrestling champion, Scholar Tarek. How's it going tonight, sir?
All is going very well, fool. It's just a glorious occasion. It's not just the Scholars of Wrestling champion. It is the Scholars of Wrestling champion who will be taking the championship belt with me to WrestleMania, baby. Woo! Expect a lot of pictures of me holding this beautiful title up while pointing at the WrestleMania stage, because I don't think they really will have a sign to point to.
Hey, you're considering you're going to be there, you do whatever you like with that, because I know you're going to carry it with dignity and honor.
Of course. I carry...
Whether or not you come back with it is another thing entirely.
Not just the championship, but the good name that is the Scholars of Wrestling.
Yes, and you know what? I'm okay with that, because at this point, I'm just glad I'm not dead.
Yeah. Okay.
Viruses and infections are nothing to scoff at, kids.
Okay. I see what you did there. Yeah.
Yes, I was teetering on the edge of miserableness and death, so...
You can thank Brian for that one.
Hey, if that's...
Because apparently he, from last week, he was kind of hinting at the fact that he may have poisoned you?
He has he?
I'll just say... Go back and watch last week's episodes, because you were basically lying in bed dying. So it's just something he hinted at the end of the episode that... I'll just put it this way. I'm going to keep all my clear liquid away from him.
If this is true, then...
Why do you think he's not here this week?
If this is true, then the battle for the Scholars of Wrestling Championship has just gone to new heights. But
and I'm pretty much the Asuka in this, apparently. Because now it's you two starting the rivalry here.
Am I the pretty one?
Do you want to be the pretty one?
Yes, I do want to be the pretty one.
You want to be the pretty one or the badass one?
Yes.
They're two different people. You can't answer that.
I want to be the pretty girl.
You're the one that Corey Graves goes after all the time?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm the pretty one. But anyway, we're still coming off of the heels of WWE Fastlane, and we've got a lot to talk about this week. So let's dive right in, starting with... the pre-show. We've got the New Day defeating Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, which I think we all saw coming.
We did. It's actually kind of funny when you look at this particular kickoff show. I don't know about you, but for me, it kind of felt more like a Sunday Night Heat, which they're actually building storylines to the show. It's not just a recap, like video packaging of the matches that are on the card. This one actually had storylines in the program that actually continued on to the show itself, particularly that with Kofi Kingston going to see Vince McMahon.
You know what? I can see that.
If they keep doing kickoff shows more like this, kind of give us that old Sunday Night Heat feel to it. Hopefully it'll bring most of the people who've criticized the kickoff show in the past back. Be like, you know what? WWE in the past kind of blew off the kickoff show, mainly at Survivor Series for them apparently miscommunications-wise, which is the only reason why they did that. But if they keep doing stuff like this, that's actually more than just video packaging, building up for the show, and just an appetizer match. Let us actually have story that goes on into this, even to the fact that, well, I missed this when it was live, but when I rewatched it, you had R-Truth trying to get a U.S. title match, or Carmella trying to get R-Truth a U.S. title match, and who comes in and signs the sheet is Samoa Joe, and he changes the Andrade Rey Mysterio match that was supposed to be on the kickoff to now a fatal four-way that actually ends up on the show itself. Why can't we get more stuff like that?
There's only really one thing that I can think of off the top of my head, is that for some other shows, particularly the bigger ones like your Royal Rumbles, like your WrestleManias, so much of those matches and events already have all of their storylines and all of that already built up as pretty much as far as they can go. With a show like Fastlane, sometimes, generally speaking, but with a show like Fastlane, with given its position and build or lack thereof, there's a lot more room to throw some surprises their way. Plus, if you think about it, with a lot of the bigger shows, there's a lot of fan anticipation. Like, I want to see this match. This is the match I am being advertised to see. This is what I want.
Card subject to change.
Yes. But
that's definitely a lot more recent.
It is. Though. But that doesn't mean it's necessarily all good things. With Fastlane,
this show
it worked.
That, actually.
With Fastlane, it worked.
At one point it worked, and at another point it didn't. The whole card subject to change.
Yes. But even so, this is if nothing else, this show definitely showed the possibilities of that. As far as some of the other matches on the card, going into the main card.
We didn't really talk about the New Day versus Nakamura and Rusev.
This is pretty much what I expected.
It'll actually build up. This is definitely a more storyline. This is more a storytelling match, which continues on for Kofi Kingston's storyline that goes into this event, and it was a very straightforward match. The match itself, it was basically a typical SmackDown tag team title match, or tag titles, a tag team match. New Day won because they got to be looking strong. Because it's not even just Kofi; it's the New Day that are now this big storyline that's now in quote quote rivalry with Vince McMahon. And that's wow. With how this story's been building, I really am looking forward to seeing Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania.
Yeah, given how quickly this came up, I am legitimately looking forward to this as much as any other match on the WrestleMania card. There's gonna be something really fun to look forward to, especially. Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving on to the main card, we've got the Usos defeating The Miz and Shane McMahon, and looky there, we got our big turn.
It's actually funny. The best thing to really describe this show, for me at least, and for lots of people, is extremely predictable. Because I didn't get, other than the two matches, like the Fatal 4-Way match was, if I watched the kickoff match live, I would have gone after, it's like changing the predictions for instead of the Andrade Rey Mysterio, like what would be the Fatal 4-Way, and other than that and the Bar versus Kofi, so Brian and I got every match correct. Like this event was very predictable. It just basically came down to putting on a good show, which is something that we talked about last week. When it came to this particular match, it was a good match. Was it great? No, not at all. It was actually a pretty sloppy match, but it definitely told a good story. Like, you look at The Miz, and you look at his first babyface turn, and it was very, very lackluster. People even say it's a failed project, which I actually agree with that. But this one, he was definitely a hardcore babyface, hometown hero, because it was in Cleveland. And
when he took the jersey off, he had the
Cleveland is awesome.
Yeah, like, okay, that's laying on a little thick, man.
Oh, that's when you know Shane is going to turn. At least, I don't know, during the match or after the match, but when it came to the match itself, Miz did some good spots. He was the one getting the beat, or Shane was the one getting the beat down most of the match. So Miz can get the hot tag. And of course, this match in particular was more storytelling than anything, where Miz's dad is trying to tell him, do a frog splash off the top rope, do a frog splash off the top rope. Okay, Daddy, frog splash. Miz, roll up 1, 2, 3. And I think the big highlight of this match was that stare down between Shane McMahon and what was it, Jimmy Uso? When they were both on the sitting on the turnbuckles, Shane was going to do a coast to coast to other Uso.
It was a gut check.
And Uso number 2 was going to do his I don't know, money shot. Because what is it? What else does he call it? What does he call his jump off the turnbuckle? I just call it the money shot because I love Val Venus.
Let's go with that.
Okay, the money shot, and then Shane just comes in. It's like, nope, drop kick. That was actually a pretty scary spot.
Yeah, I'm like, wait. It took me a second. Like, what? Wait, whoa! What just happened now?
And like I said, this was a storytelling match. Miz got rolled up. It's like, I'm sorry, Shane. Celebrate with Miz Daddy, and heel turn for Shane McMahon.
Which I'm just glad they got it out of the way at this point, because I think we all knew that a heel turn was coming.
I will say I liked his Shane's promo on SmackDown, basically telling what's his name, the announcer. What is the SmackDown announcer's name?
Oh boy, I feel like I lost track of it after Tony Chimmel.
Yeah, so did I. But yeah, he kept telling him, say, best in the world, Shane McMahon, with more feeling, with more passion behind it. He did it 3 times and just saying,
the best in the world. The best in the world.
The best in the world, Shane McMahon. And his typical heel pro is like, I'm tired of people teaming up with me just to leech off me, and that's what Miz was doing. So I'm not going to challenge him. I'm just going to say, you're having a match with me at Mania. See you at Mania. That was it. Now Usos are looking for tag team to face at Mania.
And I think if Twitter is to be believed, I think we all know who it's going to be.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have absolutely no idea. But anyway, that's beside the point. Looking elsewhere, speaking of Fire and Desire, we've got Asuka defeating Mandy Rose.
I didn't say anything about Fire and Desire.
But we're talking about the pretty one.
You can't have your segue. That's a segue from the very beginning of the show. You can't segue from the beginning of the show and just say, speaking of which, from all the way back then.
Sure you can. I just did it.
Yeah, and it was very sad.
I am not sad about it at all. Asuka beat Mandy Rose.
Due to Mandy Rose tripping over the apron that Sonya Deville accidentally put up.
And I have to admit, I knew that Asuka was going to beat Mandy Rose. That much is a given. I was a little surprised by them hinting that they're going to be breaking these two up. Especially given their showing during the women's tag elimination chamber match. Those two put in work.
Typical Vince McMahon fashion. You finally bring us women's tag team titles, and what do? You break up an established tag team.
Yay?
Yay?
Logic?
Apparently, Vince McMahon logic, which is no logic at all. But from what it's hinting at, I think, and then they continued this story on through SmackDown with Asuka beating Sonya Deville to Mandy Rose. I don't even know. This is weird because they obviously set it up to look like it's supposed to be unintentional accident at Fastlane, but when you have Mandy Rose pulling down the apron, and it's not even that it looked like it was an accident, you just see her keep grabbing to pull it down. It's it looks like they're trying to make it obvious that Mandy Rose sabotaged Sonya Deville to lose, but they're not talking about it as if that from that way. So what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me storyline-wise? So, as I hinted at earlier, between you and Brian, Asuka is kind of the third wheel in this Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, SmackDown Women's title storyline. I think they're going to have another triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship between Asuka, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose for WrestleMania.
I think it's about as good as anything else you're going to get out of this.
Better than the idea of having Lacey Evans versus Asuka at Mania.
You know what? I take it all back. Lacey Evans versus Asuka at Mania. Book it.
With zero build?